Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It is time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney. We're going to talk about Marvel being in a very, very bad state. So bad that Variety did a feature article on the utter garbage state of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the haters, guys. It's not just the haters.
It's the vocal minority.
The vocal minority.
Of people who hate strong women and are racist.
It's fine, guys. It's all fine. Yeah, it's not fine. We're gonna talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. You get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to shopclownfish.com and back Shadowbinders Volume 3. This is the third Shadowbinders hardcover graphic novel, shipping next summer. We're doing this instead of Indiegogo. We're no longer doing Indiegogo.
No.
But we will consider Kickstarter at a future date. But for now, this is how we're doing it. First new Shadowbinders in 10 years.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you.
Yes.
Very much. That's, I have to get in there. Like, buy stuff, people.
Right. There's also Volume 1 and 2 available, but they're limited quantities.
Limited.
So anyway, let's talk about the stuff everybody's here for.
Yeah, you're here for this. So this just dropped. Crisis at Marvel. Jonathan Majors backup plans. The Marvels reshoots, reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed. Basically, Disney's not in a very good state all around, and Marvel is declining faster in some ways, I think, than Star Wars did. I mean,
Well, that's because Star Wars, other than TV shows, they kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And Marvel just keeps putting shit out, and it just doesn't do well.
No, and show after show.
Movie after movie.
Movie after movie. The declines are noticeable. And we're going to do another separate video on the Marvels and its projections and how it's coming in at like half of what people thought it was going to make. But this isn't good. The last time there was a seismic shift at Marvel Comics was, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter did an article, or it might have been Variety, but they did one back in 2017 about the state of the comic books. The irony in all this is that the same mistakes that were made in the comics back then that led to Marvel Comics being in deep, deep trouble are the same mistakes they're currently making with the MCU.
If only people have told them this. If only people had said, hey, this isn't working in the comics. It's not going to work in the movies. Stop trying to make it happen. If only.
If only.
If only.
If
anyway.
only. So they're
That's all
talking.
I'm saying. If only.
They're talking about Jonathan Majors and how he was poised to be the next big bad in the Avengers movies, and they're like, oh yeah, he's in some trouble now. But apparently they reversed that, and they're charging his accuser or something now.
No, I thought they weren't. I don't know. I have not kept up with it, to be completely fair. But yeah, he was supposed to be the next big thing. But now for the Marvels trailer, they're showing Thanos again. And now this other chick's supposed to be like as bad as Thanos or some bullshit. And it's like, no.
No, this is member berries. Remember when you cared about Marvel? Maybe you remember Marvel's still a thing? Yeah, why don't you come to the theater and see Marvel? But nobody wants these replacement Avengers.
I think it's not just that. I think it's because last time people went to Captain Marvel because they thought they had to see it before Endgame. And now they're trying to imply that you have to see this before Deadpool 3 or whatever. Yeah. And I think that's what they're trying to do.
So right after they showed the cover, this is the print version, I think, of Variety, right? And this is true. Look at those audiences leaving Marvel. Oh my God, they're all a bunch of alt-right Nazis.
Aren't they going to copyright infringe for that?
I don't know. It's parody. It's considered parody, so probably.
Looks pretty close to the characters to me for parody. Anyway, continue.
Marvel. This is coming from a deal maker in Hollywood.
I'm sorry, I just read
This is going to be the title of the video. Marvel is truly fucked.
Oh no.
They said it.
They said it, not us. We've said it many times, but they've said it.
Marvel is truly fucked with the whole Kang angle, says one top deal maker who has seen the final Loki episode. And they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until very recently because of the WGA strike, but I don't see a path to how they move forward with him. Beyond the bad press for Majors, the brain trusts at Marvel are also grappling with the November release of the Marvels.
We said this shit, well, how much crap we got?
Yeah.
The brain trust at Marvel, they're fucked. I'm like, we've been saying this stuff, but you're just alt-right Yahtzee haters.
You just hate women.
I don't care if you're a woman. You're an internalized misogynist, and you're also racist, and you hate gay people too because I say so.
Yeah. So anyway,
I can't.
They're talking about how it's been, see, now it's safe. That's like we were talking about with Kathleen Kennedy and Star Wars. And now it's safe that South Park can make fun of Kathleen Kennedy.
It really is frustrating because you don't understand like the amount of shit. And for us, we took double because it's not just we're covering it on YouTube. We lost media and all kinds of other stuff actually at Disney because we were too honest. Like we didn't just like take what everybody else took. We got beyond shit on that.
Oh, yeah.
And then this. And I'm just like all the middle fingers.
That's like they had, what was it, Beyond Meat?
Smacking my ass and going, kiss it. Anyway.
Some people will take you up on that offer, so please don't make that offer on here again.
Don't kiss it. Go ahead.
Don't kiss her ass. That's my job. Anyway, yeah, they're saying, hey, the Marvels were plagued with reshoots. That's not the only thing. Again, we're going to talk about. That's a whole separate video. The box office.
5 times they moved it.
5 times. 5 times.
I can't.
So this is an unprecedented turn of fortune for a company that has enjoyed a nearly uninterrupted string of hits ever since 2008's Iron Man. Yes, under Paramount. And they had a plan leading up to Endgame.
They did a 10-year plan that was already in play. And
then they had nothing after that.
I'm surprised they didn't flush that like they flushed George Lucas's, Star Wars treatments, but
Yeah. So they're talking about how much money, they used to make in the past. And they said, hey, it's never easy. It's never easy. But they said the problem is they wanted to have a never ending stream of superhero fare on Disney Plus. But now here's where I disagree. The ensuing tsunami of spandex proved to be too much of a good thing.
Yeah, that's why.
And the demands of churning out so much programming taxed the Marvel apparatus. Moreover, the need to tease out an interwoven storyline over so many disparate shows, movies, and platforms created a muddled narrative that baffled viewers.
Okay, I do agree in the fact that I think they overtaxed themselves and their FX teams and stuff like that, and they weren't giving us as good as stories. I think they were too busy trying to look like how clever we are, weaving everything together. And I think that it did become too much, and people were just like, I don't want to watch all this shit. But you have to watch this shit, or you're not going to know who Photon is, or Ms. Marvel is, or whatever. But it's not too much good thing. It's too much shit thing, which is the problem.
And yeah, I mean, you're expecting everybody to, and it's the same with Star Wars now. They're expecting everyone to consume movies and TV shows. And that's a big ask. Even when Star Wars was in a better place, most casuals only watch the movies. They didn't read the books. They didn't watch the cartoon shows. That's why I think Ahsoka's not doing as good as it could do, because people are like, I don't know who these characters are. You're assuming I already know who these characters from the Clone Wars and Rebels are.
It didn't help too when Disney bought it. People that had, consumed some of the expanded universe stuff, they just decanonized all of it and started all over again. And now they have all these High Republic bullshit books and all that stuff. If you don't know who Geode is, you're like, why is there like a rock piloting a ship? That doesn't even make sense. I'm sorry, navigating a ship. I'm like, people just don't give a fuck. And then what you do give them is so subpar and stupid, they give less of a crap.
Episode 10, I can just see the text scroll. People just don't give a fuck.
That's right. I'm telling you.
The empire is in shambles as people just don't give a fuck.
Basically.
Anyway, so they said that they were pumping out a lot of content. This is an analyst, Eric Handler. And he said they get to the point where there's too much. They're burning people out on superheroes as possible.
Yep. It's not possible. They did.
The more you do, the tougher it is to maintain quality.
Well, there it is. Quality has not been maintained.
They tried experimenting with new characters like Shang-Chi and the Eternals with mixed results. Can you say that?
I mean,
can you say that?
Shang-Chi actually did pretty okay. The Eternals did terrible. I guess that's mixed.
The weird thing is as much as I think Simu Liu is bonkers,
Shang-Chi's got a big mouth.
He's got a big mouth. But Shang-Chi was probably the best of Phase 4 so far, or one of the better things.
One of the better. I wouldn't say it was the best, but
but it's like it was like, okay, this isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst, and then it was all like down.
Eternals was just horrible.
I haven't even watched
it, but I mean, it did not perform. The Marvels, I think, is headed for an Eternals.
Well, I said they knew that they said they knew there were some problems with the Marvels because the director went off to do another movie while she was working on this one, and they're like, what the hell is going on? And they said the Marvels has seen the release date move back twice too. Once to swap places with comment. It was like
twice.
5. It was like 5 times, which was deemed further along. And again, when its debut shifted from July to November to give the filmmakers more time to tinker. But that extra time didn't help. In June, Marvel, which traditionally only solicits feedback from Disney employees and their friends and families, took the uncharacteristic step of holding a public test screening in Texas. The audience gave the film middling reviews. That's not what we heard. We heard it was bad.
Yeah, well,
very,
Variety
very
has to still stay on
bad.
Disney's good side somewhat.
Oh, this is crazy. They're actually using official Marvel artists to do. Is this a cover of a comic, or is this just like
I don't know,
to make
for
fun
Variety?
Of it? For Variety. Marvel's never been in the business of being average. Kevin's real superpower as genius has always been in post-production and getting his hands on movies and making sure they're finished strongly.
From what I'm understanding is he sometimes over, like pushes, it's on his ass or, more than they have to redo stuff. And they're like,
This is funny. They're talking about how bad the special effects were in Quantumania.
Oh, they were bad.
That shock rippled through the Regency Theater in Westwood over some shoddy CGI. No, they probably laughed their asses off when they saw MODOK. They're like, what hell?
I know.
I mean, it looked like Spy Kids. It was like, what the hell?
I don't know if Spy Kids deserves that kind of insult, but anyway.
Yeah, so they're talking about the VFX. They're blaming the VFX. Why won't they come out and say it? Why won't they come out and say
they fired Victoria Alonso over the VFX?
Yeah, and that's the official excuse. I think they fired her because she was pushing to have them put a chick in it, make her gay, and make her lame.
Yeah, basically she
was a Kathleen Kennedy of
the South Park episode. Yeah, she was their version.
And so now they're just like, what are they going to do? They said, as public criticism mounts, Feige's pulling the plug on scripts and projects that aren't working. Blade, I think that was a bad idea. You've got Wesley Snipes.
Most of these were a bad idea.
It's just there's too much shit. Just say what it is, guys. It's not that there's too much. There's too much shit. Like when Star Trek...
There's too much overall, but most of it's been shit.
When Star Trek was good in the 90s, we had multiple Star Trek shows and it went from one to another to another to another. And we had movies with both the original cast, the original series, and Next Gen. And we had like 3 shows and they all performed fairly well.
I think it's a cross between, they're expecting everybody to have Disney Plus. They're trying to get people to back that. So you have to watch your Disney Plus shows and they're tying it to the movies and nothing's making sense. People don't caring because they didn't see the shows. I think they have too much. 2 people were too burned out. The stuff has not been performing because it hasn't been as good. And most people said that after Endgame, they were checked out. They're like, we're done. Because I'm not investing another 10 years, especially given that there was a reason they were calling it the MCU for a reason, Yeah. And everybody was kind of like tired. Here comes the pander. It's the panderverse is gone overboard with Marvel, and people are just like, no.
Yeah, people are done. They're checking out.
Toxic minority.
It's not the toxic minority. I mean, this is and it's so weird. Like they will not admit it until they can't hide it anymore, until it becomes very obvious. Now everybody's like, oh, I guess it's safe to say that Marvel's in a really bad place right now, that Marvel's literally fucked without being called a Nazi. Because you can look at it objectively and be like, people don't like these movies or they'd be paying a lot more money to go see these movies,
They're like, but with Marvel, it used to be so close, as close to guarantees you could get. Okay, says this Paul Dergarbidian. I don't know. Pauly D. He's an office analyst box office analyst for ComScore. He said, so going all in on the budgets made sense. Guardians 3 is a bit overlooked at how successful it was. Guardians 3 did well, but it still didn't do $1 billion. But that had James Gunn and Chris Pratt. I think star power is becoming more important. Then there was Quantumania. I had Paul Rudd. So star power my ass, $476 million. Anything under $500 million is viewed as a disappointment. And it's been more and more of a disappointment. And then we're going to head into the Marvels, and it's going to be, I think, a bigger disappointment than Ant-Man. Oh God, yeah. We're going to do a whole nother video about that. But they're saying that the Hail Mary pass for Marvel is, oh guys, we have the X-Men, we have the Fantastic Four. That's what they're in Deadpool 3. That's what they're banking on.
Okay.
They're going to ruin them.
That is it. The problem with this thinking is that you are assuming that Disney is going to give us faithful adaptations of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men that the general public will like. I'm not talking the current X-Men where they're all attending, mutant prom every other month and glamming it up. I'm talking 80s, 90s X-Men. I'm talking classic Fantastic Four. Okay. Everything I have heard so far, and maybe they'll rethink it. Maybe they have no choice but to rethink it. But everything I've heard so far is that they're going to deviate further from the source material than the Fox movies did and it's going to be an effing disaster.
Because the Panderstone told them to.
Panderstone told them to.
You know, it's going to be exactly what you think it is. Because, thank God they've invented diversity for X-Men because it wasn't diverse before.
Oh, I can almost guarantee what they're setting Kamala Khan up to be is she's going to be like the Kitty Pryde character that you're going to be introduced, or Jubilee in the cartoon. You're going to be introduced to the X-Men through the eyes of Kamala Khan. So they're going to make her stick regardless of whether or not
she keeps failing and they keep just pushing her through. And it's not the actress. I want to be clear.
No, she seems fine.
I really don't want to see a bunch of backlash towards her because it's not her fault. It's not her decisions. And she's really sweet. And she seems like she's doing the best she can with what they're giving her to work with. And she's trying hard.
Yeah. Same with the actress, I forget her name, that plays Sochi, the one that plays America Chavez.
Yeah, same thing.
She seems like a good kid.
Like give her
they seem like
Wars,
good kids.
Rose
really
Tico, Kelly Marie Tran seemed like a real sweetheart. It wasn't her fault.
Blame the Panderstone.
Blame the dumbasses making these decisions and listening to Twitter, or they came from Twitter and they're trying. They're making movies for them and their 10 friends. They're not successful. And the thing is, Disney needs to step back and rethink it. And instead of rethinking it, they're like, hurry, guys, let's do more live action remakes. Like, let's keep Snow White going. I mean, this is what they're doing. They could totally reverse course and save everything. And instead, they announce more of the same bullshit no one wants.
Yeah. So what's so weird is they're going through here and they're talking about all these controversies that are going to hurt the movies. And then this one came up too, which I missed this completely. This was a day or two ago, that one of the main characters in the new Captain America movie is an Israeli superhero.
Oh.
And it's like, they're like, oh my God, now is not a good time. So not only do you have the Jonathan Majors thing you have to deal with, but the next Captain America movie is going to prominently feature an overtly pro-Israeli superhero during these unprecedented times. That's not going to go very well. I don't think most
people are going to care, but there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, the ones you find on Twitter that are going to be having hissy about it.
Oh, you're not going to be able to play this one in the Middle East. I mean, that's for sure.
No. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to cut a whole bunch of this out. I don't know.
I don't know. There's no, I guess she has a pretty sizable role. So there's like no way to sidestep this. The only thing is she is like, she's literally wearing the Star of David as her symbol. So I don't know how that's going to go. But they're again.
Okay, that's more for, that's in the New World Order film.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not going to be for a while.
No, but.
I mean, they might redo that. They might rethink about how they're going to do this thing. They have lots of time to
oh my God.
They have lots of time to figure that because nothing's moving forward because the actors strike and stuff. So they have time to
reshoot it,
to play with that one. And then the next thing is they take her out. How much shit's that going to cost?
Well, that's it. There's no way to win
this one.
There is no way to win it because you're anti-Semitic if you take this character out of the movie, and you're going to get backlash if you put her in the movie.
Right. So
what do you do? Tough decision, Disney. It's a really tough decision. What do you do? So that's another thing they got to contend with because, they keep getting political, so they keep stepping in it.
I kept thinking you meant the Marvels. Okay, you meant Captain America. Okay, so that's not for a while. So they have time to.
Yes.
Or their things might settle down by then or something. Is what they're probably hoping for. But it's going to be.
Or they could escalate.
Yeah, it's.
Then that might be
a problem.
Then that whole movie might have to get shelved. Like, we're dealing with terrorist organizations and trying to stave off wars. Maybe now's not a good time. Now's not a good time. For this movie.
I don't know how it's gonna go.
But this Axios is like, what the hell is happening at Disney? Again, everything that YouTubers like us have been saying for like 5 years.
We said it was going to come to a head. We've been saying it.
It's gonna come. It's like, hey guys, iceberg. Yeah, there's an iceberg. See that iceberg? That big iceberg with the mouse ears on it and the fireworks behind it. You see it?
Looks like a castle. That big iceberg.
That big iceberg over there. I know we talk about this stuff too much because I didn't tell you, but I had a dream last night that we got stuck on a Disney cruise ship. But then it sprung a leak and we wound up, for some reason, we were in the Amazon rainforest. Okay. The cruise ship down the Amazon River, I guess. And we're trying to call the kids and we're like, yeah, we can't go anywhere because we're stuck on the cruise ship while they fix it. And it's in the Amazon I don't think a cruise ship would fit in the Amazon.
I don't even question it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know why we were there. I remember thinking in my dream, like, why are we spending this much money?
So it wasn't real because we wouldn't have.
I knew it wasn't real, but I was like, I just want to see where this goes. And it got weirder than I could have anticipated.
Oh my God.
But yeah, they're talking about like everything just imploding. They're like, the bottom line is Iger returned as the conquering hero after Bob Chapek's disastrous tenure.
Which I still don't think is completely accurate, but
they said the mountain of problems is starting to conquer him.
He caused the mountain of problems. That's what makes me so mad. He caused most of the problems. I mean, Chapek had his fair share of shit too with the parks and stuff, and his being Chapek for a reason. But Iger caused most of the problems, and we've been saying that since they brought him back. Even when he was gone, they were saying it. And they're like, well, he's having to deal with it. Yeah, he's cleaning up his own mess, which he thought he wouldn't have to do.
It's so, I mean, this ties into Marvel because they had their best year ever in 2019 when they had like all the billion-dollar movies, including Endgame. And they're saying Disney hasn't been this vulnerable in decades.
Yeah, probably true.
You know, I mean, they went from being like, I mean, you're talking, they hit this all-time high and then they came crashing down. And a lot of it's because of the decline of Marvel and Star Wars. Things that they
keep raising prices too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's a whole bunch of things they overspent. There's just a whole lot of things.
So anyway, are we going to wrap this up?
Yes.
I think we can wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.